just got a couple of more minutes. If you want to get yourself comfortable in your seated position, right, probably got about a minute, so there might be somebody else coming to join. Wow, the sun is shining in. It's lovely. Hi Marilyn, welcome. Okay, I think we're not quite there. Right, I'm going to press record, so if you could keep yourselves on mute throughout, and then I'll just let anyone else join us if I notice them coming in. So welcome, and find your way into whatever comfortable position is achievable for you today and seated. Using chairs, cushions, whatever you need to support you. And then if it feels like, you might want to bring your hands into a mudra, index finger and thumb touching, and just let the backs of the hand, or the palms of the hands or the backs of the hands rest, whichever feels more comfortable. And then just allow the shoulders to roll back a couple of times. That sense that you're drawing the shoulder blades down into the back. Taking a lovely deep breath in and out. And then settle with the ears, the shoulders moving away from the ears. And then see if there's something you need to do to your neck, your head, to release the neck, and then allow it to be balanced on top of the spine. That sense that the crown of the head is reaching upwards and the chin is drawing towards the throat. And then before you settle, just having a little glance in front of you, around you, so that you can then feel comfortable to close the eyes, draw into that inner landscape. Or it might be that you want to have the eyes almost closed, like 80-90%. Again, notice where your awareness is as you draw in. Now, allow first yourself to be aware of everything that's happening. So is there a little bit of discomfort that needs tending to? Are Are you aware of other sensations? Aware of your emotions, perhaps? It might have been a rush to get here. Notice the sounds around you. And maybe the thoughts are coming and going. So whatever it is for you today, see if you could have the attitude of allowing it all to go on around you, but still having a tiny bit of attention towards it. Life goes on around us, and then just that sense of connecting to this inner landscape, feeling the contact of the base of the body against the surface beneath. Feel that solid line of contact where your body meets that surface beneath, whether it's the floor or a chair or both. And then allow your attention to be on the feet, settling into that stillness, aware of sensations, the ankles, lower legs, knees, upper legs, until you're aware of the legs from the soles of the feet to the tops of the thighs. Noticing the sensations as the body settles into that stillness and whether it needs a little bit more support. Perhaps you can sense the touch of the clothing against the skin. And if your toes or feet are exposed, can you sense the coolness of the air or the space that they occupy? And then feel the sit bones in the pelvis, those bony bits in the buttocks. Be aware of the pubic bone and have a sense of this pubic bone moving towards the surface beneath you so that you are upright and slightly forward on your sit bones. So that pelvic bowl, that vessel, then allows the spine to flow upright, that sense of your tailbone and the curve of your lumbar curve, thoracic spine, cervical spine, all the way up to the base of the head. That sense that there's an awareness of these curves, natural, not forced to be straight. And if you notice how your spine is, it might be that you feel a little lopsided or a little overarched in one direction. It's just paying attention to how your spine carries around this body. The arms hanging heavy from the shoulders. Feel the weight of the upper arm, sensations in the elbow, forearm, wrists, until you arrive at your hands resting on the thighs or the knees or the lap. The arms getting heavier and heavier as they settle into stillness. Until you have a sense of the whole body's shape, from the contact you're making with the surface beneath you to the crown of the head reaching above, and then all your physical edges in between. Allow each sense of an out breath, letting you let go to that support beneath you without collapsing the spine. Allow the space to hold you. And then again, always having a sense of when your attention is taken elsewhere and witnessing that that's what's happened, and allowing space for everything to be, so that life flows and we're aware, we're present to this body in this space at this time. And then notice how your breath has been coming. Have you had your mouth open, or did you bring it to touch? Because we know that that's what we do. If it feels like you could let the natural breath come and go how it was, noticing before you bring the lips to touch, if your breath allows you to do that today. So begin to have a sense of what's happening, where you're noticing movement as the body breathes. You don't need to force it or control it. Just witness where you notice the body being breathed. And then bring your attention to the nostrils wherever it has been, and begin to just watch the breath at the nostrils, perhaps even counting up to a slow count of 5. So it's the 5-second breath. You're not controlling it. It's a really, really gentle, soft drawing in of the breath, and then letting go of the breath through the nostrils for a slow count of 5. So 5 seconds. If that seems like too much to do today, if it only does 4 seconds or 3 seconds, start at that. And no sense that you're lifting the chest, lifting the shoulders, lifting the rib cage. You're witnessing the breath being moved through the nostrils for a slow count of 5. And then out through the nostrils or the lips if it's not accessible for the same length of time. And now slowly bring the attention on the next in-breath to rest on that space in the center of the chest, between the 2 armpits. See if you can be present to movement of the body breathing here. And from this space, we'll chant the mantra Om 3 times to begin. So breathing in slowly and deeply. And then slowly opening the eyes and moving the body as you need to. So the next part of the practice is done in seated. So if you want to sit on a chair to do this, or there are parts of it that you could equally do in standing if you prefer to do in standing. So it's just bringing some movement into all aspects of the body. So allow the arms to externally rotate first. So the upper arms to roll out. Draw the shoulders towards the ears on the next in-breath, and then as you breathe out, that sense that the shoulders are moving away from the ears, and then let the arms hang down by the side. So if you feel like you could work with that 5-second breath from time to time today, just a little attention to that slow, no effort, widening, gentle breath in through the nostrils and out through either the nostrils or the mouth for up to a count of 5. So imagine as you hold your body with the arms, the shoulders away from the ears. As you breathe in, allow your upper arms to begin to slowly float up to out to the side. Let the wrists be soft, let the hands be soft for up to a count of 5. And then notice the pause and slowly allow the arms, the upper arms, to float down for a slow count of 5. If that's not accessible to count to 5, then just allow yourself to breathe comfortably in whatever way you can. So notice as you raise the arms and lower them with the out breath. As you raise them, do you also lift your shoulders to your ears? Keep the shoulders away from the ears and try to bring the hands no higher than shoulder width. Maybe they don't even come that far. Maybe you just want to slowly make your way up on the in-breath. And then breathing out, lowering the upper arms. And then let the next one be your last one. Again, that sense of noticing how the body, the breath, everything is slowing down as you begin to come into presence in the body. So the next one, again, that external rotation of the upper arms. As you breathe in, the arms come up to shoulder height. Breathe out, internally rotate the arms. So maybe your palms of your hands face backwards and then slowly lower. So really feel your shoulder blades anchored as you begin again, externally rotating upper arms, and maybe they come a little bit higher. Really try to keep the shoulders away from the ears, internally rotate, and then slowly, with the breath, lower. End of your out breath, your hands are down by the side, and so you work again. And maybe your body, maybe you want to take them up overhead, but again, that sense that you're not lifting your shoulders up to your ears, they might not come very far. Just taking that time to feel the benefit of that rotation in the upper arm. So notice, are you turning from the wrist, or can you have the sense that you're turning from the upper arm? Next one, you do let that come to an end. And just let your arms hang and notice the sensations that you're experiencing in your arms. Maybe you haven't felt a thing, or maybe your body benefited from that movement. So now on the next in-breath, thinking of your right arm hanging heavy. As you breathe in, have that shoulder drop away from the ear. And then as you breathe out, raise that arm up to vertical. So the left arm is hanging down by the side. So if you're in standing, have that sense that on the next. So in breath, you're lengthening the right arm towards the ceiling and the left arm towards the floor, wherever you are. And as you breathe out, keep your pelvis stable as you allow the body to fold over to left. Drop the elbow, that's above of the head. And then breathing here, that sense that you can feel, if you're sitting, you can feel both sit bones level and balanced, and that you're not overarching or untucking under your tailbone. So that sense of that opening on the right side of the body, the lengthening of the left arm towards the floor. You'll feel the compression in the left side of the body. And then notice where your elbow's at. Is it folding forward? Can you lift it up without lifting up your rib cage? And then just slowly turn the head to glance up to that right crook of the elbow. Breathing here, how does that feel in your neck? Can you also look into the right corner of your eyes? Then bring them back, your eyes to look at your crook of your elbow, and then return the head to face forward. And then slowly allow that right arm to drop. And just have a sense of if you felt that in the right side of the body, up the right side of the neck. So then we'll just work on the other side. Breathe in, imagine that left shoulder really reaching away from the shoulder, and then as you breathe out, let the left arm float up to vertical. Breathing in, right arm moves down, left arm moves up without lifting the shoulder, and then on the next out breath, that sense of opening as the spine opens on one side and compresses on the other. Let that forearm drop. Notice if it's further forward. Can you have the sense of lifting it back without sending your rib cage forward? So taking a couple of breaths here, maybe remembering the 5-second breath from time to time. And then rotate the head to look up into the left crook of the elbow. Can you draw that elbow back and rotate the head again? If it's accessible, don't worry if it's not. And then bring the eyes to look into the left corners of the eyes this time. Take a breath, slow, deep breath in. And then bring the eyes back to look at the crook of the elbow. And then the head rotates to look to the center of the room in front of you. And then as you breathe out the next time, restacking the spine as you lower that arm by the side. Again, closing the eyes. Noticing how that is for you. So again, you can either stay in seated for this or come onto a chair, or you can do it from standing. If you're doing it from standing, you want to keep your legs firmly placed on the ground and the pelvis facing forward. So bringing the hands together in Pranamasana at the heart space, crown of the head reaching up, that sense of the chin moving back towards the throat. Notice the front of the chest. Can you have the sense of your collarbones lifting up but the shoulders drawing down from the ears? Keeping your sit bones connected to the surface if you're sitting. On the next out breath, allow the shoulders to move over to the left. So that left shoulder goes back as you have a twist in the spine. And now allow the head to look over the left shoulder too, and the eyes to move into the left corner of the room. So you're going to allow your Pranamasana to release. Release that left arm behind the body. You can bring the back of the hand onto the back. You can even bring it round the back to the right side if that feels accessible, and that you could open your body like that. The right arm is going to come down either onto your lap, the left side of the lap, or onto the left thigh, or it can wrap around the waist, holding onto that hip. So taking the time to breathe softly into your twist here. Have you lost that sense of the pubic bone moving down towards the surface beneath if you're seated? And so that you've got that lovely pelvic stability. Looking into the left corner of the eyes as you breathe, can you direct that out breath to soften? And then let your eyes come back to center. Allow the head to float to the front of the room. And then on the next out breath, release the hands to the lap as the spine unravels forward. And then just allowing yourself to notice how that feels in the body. So it might feel very different on one side to the other. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So hands in Pranamasana, sit bones connected, pubic bone moving down. So you've got a slight lumbar curve. Breathing in, keeping the pelvis facing forward. As you breathe out, allow that right shoulder to move back now as the left shoulder moves into the space in front. Rotate the head to look over the right shoulder and looking into the right corners of each eyes. Breathing in here, and then as you breathe out, drop that right arm either onto the floor behind you or let it curve around the back of the body over to the side if that feels like it might happen. And then bring that left hand either down onto the right thigh, onto the outside of the right thigh, or over the belly to hug around the right side of the hip. So breathing here as you see if you can soften your hold of this. Does it need to edge off slightly so that you can enjoy it, so that it's a twist rather than discomfort? Looking into the right corners of the eyes. And now let your eyes come back to the center. Notice what you see. And then let the head float back to where it would normally rest. Breathing in, length through the spine. And then as you breathe out, release the hands and notice how the spine comes back to face the front of the room. And just resting the hands down by the side or on the lap if you're seated, closing the eyes, and see how your spine from the tailbone or from the pelvis all the way up to the base of the skull has responded to that. And then opening the eyes. So the last bit of movement is to bring like a curve forward and back into the spine. So again, you can do this from standing if you prefer, or on a chair. If you are standing, you might want to just widen the stance of your legs so that you can really soften your knees into the movement. If you're in seated, you might want to widen your legs. So it's going to have the sense of breathing in and lifting our elbows, and then breathing out, let them float down again. So imagine that your elbows are drawing circles out to the side. So let the forearms do what they want. Let the hands be soft. And then the in breath, one half of your circle, and the out breath, the other half. So that's just allowing your shoulders to become more, just to be aware of how your movement is in your shoulder. So notice the sounds. As you draw these circles, it doesn't matter if you draw your shoulders towards your ears for this one, but it's just more a sense of what are your elbows doing. And you might be aware of a less range of movement in one shoulder than the other. And you can let your fingers, wrists now begin to move in what perhaps circles, one in one direction, the other in the other. Close your eyes and see how your wrists feel to move through the space. Maybe your fingers also explore movement so that you can maybe tune into the effort that you put into, I don't know, typing, writing, using your hands, and how your hands feel now to move through the space. You could have a sense of breathing in, make them feel thick as they really take up their space. And then as you breathe out, that sense of letting them go limp. Breathe in, really feel the stretching of all the fascia, the ligaments, the tendons in your hands, the space between your fingers. And then as you breathe out, just let them melt and then let them be soft. So do that a couple more times as you feel. You could even clench a fist as thickness and then soften it. Tensing and releasing gets rid of a lot of chronically held tension, so it's quite a good thing to do. And then you can now begin to bring the spine into it. So I'll just turn sideways so you can see. So that sense as you breathe in and the elbows draw their wide circles, you're going to send your tailbone to the back of the room, draw your shoulder blades towards each other and down, open the throat into the space in front. So you've got a little bit of a back bend going on. And then as you draw the elbows forward, tuck the pelvis under and round the spine. So see if that feels like you could bring movement into the spine in that way. As the elbows draw back, the throat opens, the chin draws to the ceiling, and the sit bones go back. And then as you draw the elbows forward, you tuck your sit bone under and your tailbone under as you draw the elbows again. So just find a little rhythm that feels nourishing, and notice whether you're just doing the upper part of your spine, the thoracic upwards. Can you also have a sense of the pelvis moving under and arching? Continue with that. So as you draw the elbows forward, can you feel the stretch between the shoulder blades? As you drop the head, can you feel, sorry for the noise, can you feel the drop of the chin? Feel that stretch in the neck. And as the pelvis tucks under, can you feel that lower back stretch? So continue to notice how your body responds to it, and can you be soft and flowy in the movement, but equally being slow and mindful. And then wherever you are in your practice, bring that slowly to an end. And then we're going to come into an all fours position. So you might need something underneath your knees if it feels like being on your knees is not comfortable. So if it feels difficult for you to be up on your wrists, you can come up on your knuckles with the thumbs facing forward. And just try to have a sense of your inner elbows facing each other. So if you have, spread the hands. Feel the base of the fingers connected to the earth. Equally, you could come up on blocks or up on a chair or a table if it's too much to load down like that. So you're just going to begin to slowly sway your hips from side to side. Imagine if you come to stillness, imagine that your tailbone is a tail, and imagine that you want to wag your tail. So as you lift the left hip out to the side, you'll feel almost like a tension on the inner right thigh, and then bring the right hip out to the side. So you're like a little doggy or something that wags their tail. How does that feel as you lift one side of the pelvis and drop the other side? So you'll notice your upper legs responding to the pelvic movement. And then let that movement go into circles. So the tailbone, you could maybe even think of a color as you draw circles with your pelvis. So notice as you draw the top of the circle towards the ceiling, does the lumbar curve increase? And then as it continues around, does it have a sense of like decreasing? So if you were to be laying on the floor, then you might have a sense that the pelvis was moving away from the earth and back. And then if you are doing circles in one direction, just try and have a sense of doing the other, so you can feel the effect on the opposite upper leg, on the lower back. Try to keep the shoulders and that still for now. And then come to stillness. If at any point you need to rest your body, you need to bring the bum back to the heels. And then we're going to work with our shoulders. So we're upper body loading, upper bone loading as well. And you're going to sense that you're now rotating your shoulder blades. So soften your arms and have a sense that you're doing the same as we did with our shoulders in laying down, but we're allowing the spine to respond as well. So the shoulders drawing up towards the ears and then the shoulder blades drawing down in the back. So once you've got the movement, you can allow your elbows to soften. Maybe the lower part of the back wants to get involved. There's no right way or wrong way to do this. Begin to explore your cat. Let your head hang or raise your head up. Just finding, noticing, and being. And then, just like a cat or an animal on all fours, begin to lift and lower your hands as if you're padding the ground. You can pad closer to your knees and round your back and drop the crown of the head. And then you can begin to pad. Feel how the hands pad down on the ground as you walk forward with your hands. Send your tailbone to the ceiling and the crown of the head to the ceiling as you arch. So it's a much more exploratory cat as you round. Begin to walk your arms back towards your knees as you come up onto high kneeling like a really angry cat. And then the in-breath as the sit bone's going towards the ceiling, you're walking forward. And then round or whatever with that. So again, that sense that nothing is right, nothing is wrong. Just exploring movement in your spine. As you come up into your angry cat and you round the back and you round the lower back, draw the abdominals in tight. And then explore again on your journey. You could begin even to think about walking out to one side. Keep the knees where they are and begin to explore all the way over to one side. Maybe arch the back from this space and walk back and over to the other side. So notice how your body responds to a softer, more explorative movement. Play with bringing your elbows down, coming up on your hands, back up and down, and just notice how your body responds to the movement. And then at the end of that, you're going to bring the tops of the toes onto the ground and begin to sink your bum back towards the heels. So take your time to find a position that feels comfortable. It might be that you want to really widen your knees and begin to fold the belly and the chest down in between the thighs, keeping the toes together. So here it could be that you rest on your elbows. Maybe your arms can extend along the mat and bring the chest and the forehead down. So you're going to spend about 5 breaths here. It might be that it's completely inaccessible for you to bring the head, the belly and the chest down, and maybe build having cushions to hand and folding over onto something that allows you to release a little bit more. So as you settle wherever you are, begin to tune into the 5-second breath. Slowly drawing the breath in through the nostrils. No effort. It's a slow, gentle, deepening breath. And then slowly breathing out, either through the nostrils or through the lips. As you do it, notice, can your out breath allow the attitude of surrender? And that in breath, can you be aware of your body taking up space, right to your very edges and the space around you? Notice every time your attention gets taken by a sensation or a sound, and see if you can be in both places, being with the breath and being with whatever is arising. Witness your response to whatever arises, whether you're frustrated by thoughts or irritated by sounds, being with your response to external interruptions. And now we begin that slow journey out. So if your arms are extended along the mat in front, begin to slowly walk them back. If you're on your elbows, begin to slowly push up into an upright, up-seated position. And then we're going to come onto our backs. So take the time to set up on your back. So you might want to start with your legs extended. Let your legs be apart, not touching. Allow your heels, your weight to roll from side to side on your heels. And then have the arms a little away from the body. Let your head gently roll from side to side. And then let it come to stillness. As you bring your attention to the back of the body, resting against that surface beneath. So feel how the heel rests on the floor or on the ground, on the right foot, the left foot, the sense of placement, the sense of pressure, the perception of where that right foot is in space above and that left one. Do they feel like one falls further out to the side than the other, or one turns in? And then coming along the floor towards the calves, feel the spread and weight of your calves. Noticing the weight through the whole of the right lower leg and the way through the whole of the left lower leg. Do they feel different? Do they feel the same? Do you notice whether there's more muscle in one calf than the other? And then traveling up, be aware of the backs of the knees away from the floor, that sense of how much space they take up away from the floor. The backs of the thighs, whether they touch the floor or not. The back of the pelvis, the buttocks. Again, does it feel like one side of the hips and pelvis are more in the air than the other? Noticing the curve of your lower back. And then the spread of the right side of the rib cage, the spread of the left side of the rib cage. the spine in between, the placement of the right shoulder blade, placement of the left shoulder blade, that curve away from the mat of the back of the neck, and then the spread of your head. Feel whether you have tilted your head over to one side or the other, whether you feel that you're tilting towards the top of the back of the head with the chin pointing to the roof, or does it feel like the nose is pointing into the ceiling so that the chin draws towards the throat. And then the next time you breathe in, be aware of the whole body and allow yourself to feel tension. So whether that is bringing tension to your buttocks, clenching your buttocks, the arms and fists, the hands and fists and the whole arms, maybe they raise away from the floor, the thighs are engaged, the feet may be engaged, the face screwed up, and breathing here, breathing in. Can you tense your belly, tense your chest, tense everything gently. And then the next time you breathe out, allow that melting, soft melting. Imagine melting chocolate so that the calves melt, the buttocks melts, the belly melts, pelvic floor, the arms, everything releases, so that you might be aware of the back of the body, a little bit more connected to the surface beneath than it was. Feel that sense of tension having released. And then if you feel like you could do that once more, doing the same again. So you could start with the buttocks, tensing the buttocks so the pelvis has moved into the air, tensing fists, lifting the arms a little away from the body so that you're aware of all the forearms, the upper arms tensed. Round the shoulders forward, feel the belly tense, the chest tense, the legs tense, screwing up the face, breathing as you hold. Now can you soften it a little bit before you let go so that you're aware of all the muscles that are contracting to keep you here. And then the next time you breathe out, as you let go of the breath, softening the buttocks, softening the belly, softening everything. Feel as if your whole body is melting downwards. And then take a lovely deep breath in at the end of it whenever you finish. And then breathing out that sense of being held by that surface beneath you. Just notice now, where is your attention? Can it be in the body, on the effects of the release of tension? Can it be in the surface beneath the floor or beneath the body? Can it be with the sounds that are arising? Just allowing yourself to really be present to the body as you notice other things come in and out of your awareness. So now you're going to slowly begin to raise one knee as the sole of the foot comes onto the ground, and then the other. So setting yourself up so that the knees are roughly hip width apart, the soles of the feet are on the ground. So notice if you bring your heels too close to your bum, how that can tilt your pelvis so that you flatten your lumbar curve. You don't want it too close. You just want to feel your sacrum, the back of the pelvis, just sinking down. So we're going to keep our left leg on the floor, and then you're going to draw your right knee into the air, and then as you breathe out the next time, draw that right knee towards the chest. So have a sense of breathing in, the knee moves away from the chest as the belly expands, and then breathing out, draw it closer to your chest again. Now it might be, to continue with this practice, that it would be accessible for you to lengthen that left leg away along the floor and take hold of the back of the right thigh with your fingers. So you don't want too much pressure, but that sense of as the body breathes in, the belly expands, the knee softens away from the belly. As you breathe out, as the breath leaves the body, that knee draws towards the chin, towards the chest. The sense of drawing your chin into the neck as you raise the head to look down the center of the body. Flex that left foot, shoulders back and down. Breathing in, again, that sense of belly expanding, rib cage expanding as you lower the head, chin tucked in, the knee moves away from the belly. And then that whole sense of drawing up. Use your abdominals to draw up your core strength rather than rounding forward. So see how that feels for you to continue with that. And then on the next one, as you breathe in and lower the head, you're now going to take hold of the knee. And if this feels like you can cross the median line, you're going to draw the knee over towards the left shoulder. So feel that right buttock respond, the right side. You're going to keep that right shoulder blade grounded. And then if it feels like that knee wants to move over to the side so that that right side of the pelvis and the center of the pelvis lifts, keep your shoulder blade grounded. You're not trying to get to the floor. You just want to deeply stretch down into that piriformis. So the knee comes towards the shoulder and towards the left side. Try not to roll over onto your side. You're keeping the right shoulder connected to the ground. Breathing here, maybe the 5-second breath. 1, 2, or 3 of those. If it's too much, allow the weight to come back onto the center of the pelvis again. But we have that sense that you're drawing your knee towards your left side of your chest, your right knee towards your left side of your chest, and over to the side. Now the next breath, you're just going to let the pelvis return to the floor. The knee comes over to that right side again, taking hold with both knees, both hands even, and then draw the knee towards the shoulder or the chest again. So that left leg is extended away. Just want to see how it feels to be here in this deep hip opener. So what you're going to do now on the next one is breathe in, belly fills with air, and then as you breathe out, allow that knee, the right arm, to guide it out to the right side. So keep that left hip down and drawing that knee out to the side. So the knee is towards the shoulder and out to the side, or it might be that you just want it further out at hip height. So again, can you keep the left side of the pelvis connected to the ground as you breathe here and open that right side of the hip? So notice if you've completely lifted that left side of the pelvis off the ground, you don't really want to be lifting it. So now slowly guide that knee back to the center and then extend that leg a little way along the mat. So the last part of this movement is to roll onto the left side, and you're going to bend that top leg. Take hold of the foot or the trouser leg or the shin. You can use your left elbow for help, for balance. If you're wobbling from side to side, just bend the lower leg. And so that sense now that that right knee is directly underneath the hip, and you're going to have the sense of somebody's pulling that right knee towards the bottom of the mat or towards the wall in front of you. So notice if you lift your knee, so the knee is parallel with the hip, and then you're going to send it back behind the body. So you'll feel an opening in the shoulder, you'll feel an opening in the thigh as the knee moves back. You could press the top of that foot into the hand, breathing as you feel that length in the top of your thigh. So it may be that you might prefer to get a dressing gown belt or a dog lead or something to put it around your lower leg to help you get hold of it. And then let the knee come back so it's level with the hip as you look down. And then release the foot, release the knee back down, and then slowly make your way back onto your back again. Extend the legs away. So we've worked quite extensively with the right leg. So have a sense of how the front of the thigh feels, the hip joint, even the buttock, because we've worked into the buttock. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So bring the soles of the feet onto the ground, hip width apart. Feel the weight dropping into the sacrum. So initially we'll start with drawing the left knee into the air, and then you're going to take hold of the left knee, and that sense of breathing in, the belly expands. As you breathe out, draw the knee towards the chest. So it might feel very, very different on this side. In breath, the knee moves away as the ribcage and belly expands, and then you work again on the out breath, drawing it towards you. So notice that right knee, has it fallen out to the side? Can you keep it pointing towards the ceiling? So that might be where you want to stay with that practice, just the sense of stretching the knee towards the ground, towards the body. If it feels like you could lengthen that right leg away along the mat, draw the toes towards the shin, extend through the heel so that you've got that grounding leg. And then you, if you want to, take hold behind that left thigh. So notice, have you fallen over onto your left side of your pelvis? Can you keep balanced? Breathing in, arms extend, the knee moves away, breathing out, drawing the knee towards the chest, and then tuck the chin towards the throat as you raise the head to look down the center of the body. The breathing in, the knee moves away, the head lowers, chin towards the throat. Breathing out, use your abdominals to raise the head, draw the chin towards the neck and the knee towards the body. Notice whether you're rounding your shoulders forward to come up. You're using your abdominals. And then the next time you breathe in and the head drops to the ground, we're going to take that right hand onto the top of the left knee or the outside of the left knee. Breathe in, feel the belly expand, and as you breathe out, as the knee comes towards the chest, can you draw it across the body? Release that left hand down onto the floor. So you're drawing the knee over to the right side and towards your shoulder. That stabilizing leg is flexed at the foot. The chin is drawing towards the throat. Breathing here. So the more you come over, keep that left shoulder grounded, the more you come over onto that right side of the pelvis, the more you might feel it in that left buttock and the left side of your lower back. So if you ever get sciatica, this is a really nice movement to do to relieve that. And then allow the weight to move back, to spread over the whole of the pelvis. The knee returns to the top of the left hip. And then we're going to work in the opposite direction. So you're now going to allow that left knee to move out to the left. So it might be at shoulder height, it might be right out at hip height. So just find what feels comfortable. Again, make sure that you can hold that right hip so that the right side of the pelvis stays down, connected to the earth. Breathing here. And then draw that knee towards the chest, into the center. And then you're going to roll over onto your right side. So I just need to adjust to come onto the right side so you can see. So whether you have that arm extended along the mat, resting your head on your bicep, or whether you're bending at the elbow and resting the top of the head in the heel of the hand, you can either extend that lower leg, the right leg, down towards the ground, or you can bend it to give you a little bit of stability. And then you're going to bend that left knee so that the knee is directly underneath the hip, and then see if you can draw the heel towards the bum to take hold of either the top of the foot or the shin, or if you have something to hand, a belt or something to hold on to it, or your trouser leg. So take the time, just have a look down, see that your knee is not up in the air or down too low. It's just underneath the hip or in line with the hip, and a sense of your knee being pulled down so your hip stays stacked and you've got this thigh dropping away from the hip. You've got this length in the front of the thigh. You can press that left top of the foot into the hand, and then maybe, if it's for you, send that knee towards the back of the room. So that is quite a deep quad stretch, or stretch in the top of the thighs. Sending it back. Notice if it goes down under, if it goes up. Just the sense of breathing, maybe your 5-second breath here as that thigh drops away from the hip. So if you sit a lot, you're going to notice this. And then slowly letting go, releasing that leg down. You might want to give it a little bit of a rub. So the last part before we come into a lay down position or for pranayama is to come to standing. So it'll take me a few minutes to just come to standing. I think you can see me. Yep. Okay, so we're going to stand on our feet. I just wanted to give, so we're doing tree, and I wanted to give an alternative if you prefer to, if you need to use a wall. So because I have trouble balancing on my right foot, I'm going to do the right foot first, just so you get an idea of what it is. So you can do this in standing in the center of the room, but if you wanted to have a supported wall, if you're really worried about your balance or balance isn't so good on one foot, you're going to come to the back of the wall. So notice if you can bring your heels in to touch the wall. It may be that they don't. Allow the pubic bone to open into the space in front. And then again, that sense of externally rotating your upper arms, drawing your shoulders down, and then just toning the belly. So can you allow the back of the head to touch the ground or the wall as well, and drawing the chin towards the neck? So this is all the same way you check your alignment when you're standing. So it might take a while for you to feel that you can be against the wall, but you could even move away from the back of the wall just a little bit so that you feel if you lost your balance, you could support yourself that way. So bring the hands into Pranamasana at the heart space. So we're going to imagine that the weight is sinking down through that right foot. Begin to lift the left heel. And then if it feels that you could turn that left heel towards the right foot. That left knee is moving out to the side. So you've got the wall to support you if you're doing the supported one, tucking that belly in so the abdominal tone gives you some extra stability. For others, it may be that you could bring the sole of the foot to touch the inside of the right calf and that knee moving out to the side. So this is a supported tree. Focus on a point in front of you, and then that sense of length going through the crown of the head, and your lower foot is really stabilizing you. And then you can play about with your palms of the hands and your elbows out to the side. If you feel that stable, could lengthen the arms up overhead in your Pranamasan, draw your elbows back towards the wall so you can see how it's much more supportive in your tree. So this is a great way to start if you find balance difficult. Lengthening the arms upwards. I don't think you can see. And the next out breath, draw the hands back down to the heart space. Slide that left leg back down, both feet on the ground, closing the eyes. And then we're going to work, I'll show the one from the center of the room, but if the wall is even not accessible, you can practice it laying down as well. So bring your, I'll be on standing now, so both feet together or as close together as if you feel comfortable with. Hands in Pranamasana at the heart space. So looking at a point in front of you, begin to bring the weight into the left foot without collapsing that left hip. Raising that right heel. So it might be that that is your tree. The toe remains connected to the ground. If you could send that knee out to the side, that right knee out to the side, and even bring the sole of the foot towards the ankle. All the toes could be resting on the floor or just one. So feel that left leg is like a tree trunk, focusing on a point in front of you. And then for some people, it might be that you can slide the calf or the palm, the sole of the foot onto the inner calf. That right knee moving out to the side, that strengthen the left leg. For some people, you can even bring it into the inner groin. I can't do that, but try not to cross the knee. So never put your foot on your knee. So then you can explore your balance by sending your arms up overhead, lengthening upwards, crown of the head going up. Keep the shoulders away from the ears as you focus on your balance. That stabilizing tree as you flow with the winds of life. Breathing, maybe connecting with your breath. Elbows drawn back if that feels okay. Lengthening upwards, and then on the next out breath, hands return to the heart space. And then slowly release your sole of the foot onto the ground. Closing the eyes. And then the last part of the movement is Kati Chakrasana. Now we've done this a lot, so you can make it as fluid or as small a movement as you wish. So have space between your legs, maybe feeling the weight going down through your feet, a softness to your knees, and begin to let your hips move from side to side. So feel as you use your pelvis to roll from side to side or to move from side to side, how the spine moves as well. So let your arms go in one direction as the hips go in the other. And then if it feels like you want to Be more expansive in your movement, looking behind you with your head rotating all the way as well. And then even letting your arms be heavy and move through the space. Have a bend in your knee. And then you can raise your heels. And it can be as expansive or as soft and gentle as your body wants. So just see if you can tune into the movement in your spine. And then slowly let the movement come to a little bit less so. And then come to stillness. If you need to adjust your feet on the ground as you draw inwards by closing the eyes. And notice your attention. Where is your attention? Can it be in the body, with the breath, with the sensations, as well as all that's taking your attention externally or in the mind? And then you're going to make your way into a laid down position. We're going to do the breath work from laid down. So again, I'll adjust. So as you find your way into a lay down, we will be here for the relaxation as well. So take the time to make sure that everything is as you want. So notice whether you need cushions or blankets or something over your eyes. Notice whether you want to have your lower legs resting on the sofa or on a chair to relieve your back. Do you need something underneath your head? Try not to raise the head too much to take the spine out of alignment. And then when everything is just right, let your body release down. For the initial practice, just have your arms out to the side with the palms facing upwards. And the invitation is to bring the eyes to close. So if you feel you need to orient yourself by looking around the room initially, then bring the head to stillness and bring the eyes to close. Bring the lips to touch as the breath comes gently through the nostrils. And then that sense of allowing your weight to let go down into the ground or the support beneath you. So tweaking your body, because we're going to start and then move straight into the relaxation. So tweaking so that you can remain relatively still. Feel the back of the left hand out to the side on the surface. Be aware of the palm of the left hand. Feel the left arm getting heavy, heavy, heavy. Bring your attention to the back of the right hand resting out to the side, away from the body. Notice the palm of that right hand. And then be aware of the forearm, the upper arm, getting heavier and heavier as they let go into that support beneath. And then be aware of the torso and the chest space. Be aware of the center of the chest, right in that center between the two armpits. And that sense of that space melting and letting go. You might be aware of a softening or have the intention of softening the front of the chest. It's melting out to the side. It's like warm water, or the warm sun is melting, softening your skin. And then coming back to that left palm of the hand once more, as you breathe in, imagine the space of the center of the palm of the hand, breathing out a sense of a golden ball of color and energy here in the left palm of the hand. The next in-breath, slowly draw the awareness as if you're drawing that golden line of energy from the palm of the hand up the whole left inner arm, up through the shoulder, up the left nostril to the eyebrow center, and then the out breath as if that golden energy, that golden line is traveling down through the right nostril, down through that right upper arm, the inner left right arm to the right palm of the hand. And the in-breath, that golden energy travels up the whole length of the right arm, in through that right nostril to the eyebrow center, the left nostril on the out-breath as it travels down to the left palm of the hand. So you might not be aware of your breath just being in that, but having that intention as the awareness travels on the in-breath in, up through the left, to the eyebrow center, and then that golden ball of energies, lightness, travels down through that right nostril, down into the right palm of the hand. Continue. A sense of light, golden light or energy traveling from one palm of the hand to the other, through the length of the arm and the nostrils to the eyebrow center. And then the next time you draw the awareness back from the right palm of the hand up to the eyebrow center on the in-breath, and out through the left nostril and back into the left palm of the hand. Let that be the last one. And you're aware of this triangle of golden light from the left palm of the hand to the eyebrow center to the right palm of the hand. Can you imagine that the outer edges of this triangle can now flood inwards with this light, this quality of golden light, healing light, in a triangle from the eyebrow center to the palm of each hand and everything in between. Across the front of the pelvis, the whole body, in this triangular space filling with golden healing light. Notice how your body responds to this illusion or this visualization of golden triangle of healing light in the body. And from that space, if it feels like it needs to go anywhere else, maybe there's a particular part that needs this energy, maybe down into the feet, up into the crown of the head, down to whatever part of the body needs it. Allow your whole body now to begin to radiate from every cell this golden light, this healing light. The in-breath, you're aware of that triangle from the eyebrow center to the palm of each hand. And the out-breath, it radiates out to the outside edge of your body, from every pore. The whole body radiating. Perhaps a sense that you're glowing this golden light. It's seeping out through your pores. And then once more, feel the back of the body, the heels to the crown of the head, and become attentive to the natural breath coming and going through the nostrils, or however it is for you. And then begin to bring a countdown to your breath, counting down from the number 27 to the number 1. As you breathe in, mentally repeat, breathing in 27, breathing out 27, and so on, continuing to count down backwards from the number 27 to the number 1. If you lose count, simply go back and start again at number 27, counting down the natural breath. If you're distracted by a thought, by a sound, by a sensation, starting again at the number 27. Slow breath in, counting down. Slow breath out, counting down. The next part of the practice is to be aware of the whole body breathing. The whole body breathing as you let go of the count now. Sense that of the body breathing in, the body expands into the space around it. The body breathing out, the body letting go into that support beneath you. The body being breathed. And now we'll take a journey around various parts of the body. Don't worry if you don't hear them, if you drift off, but knowing that you'll come back at the right time. If you can, keep your attention on that part of the body, mentally repeating the name, visualizing if that helps you, but to be aware of the sensations as you be still in that part of the body. So become aware of the crown of the head, the forehead, the eyebrow center, the tip of the nose, tip of the tongue, the throat, right collarbone, the right shoulder, the right elbow, right wrist, the tip of the right thumb, index finger, middle finger, fourth finger, and the fifth finger. Inner right wrist, inner right elbow, the right armpit, the right collarbone, the throat, the left collarbone, left shoulder, left elbow, wrist, the tip of the left thumb, index finger, middle finger, fourth finger, and the fifth finger. Inner left wrist, inner left elbow, left armpit, left collarbone. The throat, down to the center of the chest, over to the right side of the chest, back to the center of the chest, over to the left side of the chest, back to the center of the chest, and travel down to the belly, into the navel, and down to the pubic bone, over to the right hip, down to the right knee, the right ankle, the right big toe, second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and the fifth toe. The right heel, back of the right knee, the right buttock, the right hip, tailbone, pubic bone, the left hip, left knee, left ankle, the left big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and the fifth toe. The left heel, back of the left knee, left buttock, tailbone, the pubic bone, travel up to the navel, to the center of the chest, to the hollow at the base of the throat, to the tip of the tongue, to the tip of the nose, to the eyebrow center and the forehead, and up to the crown of the head. Now be aware of the right foot and the left foot and both feet together. Right leg, left leg, both legs together. The right hand, left hand, both hands together. Right arm, left arm, both arms together. Both arms, both legs together. Front of the body, back of the body, both the front and back together. And the whole of the head, the front of the head, the back of the head, and the crown of the head, the whole head. Expand your awareness once more. Now to be aware of the whole body. Again, the whole body, the whole body. Allow that sense of golden light to return, as if the whole body is radiating this light. If you could allow the awareness of the triangle from the left palm of the hand to the right palm of the hand and the eyebrow center to return, this golden triangle and the whole body filled with golden healing light. The whole body healing, radiating, thriving. And now allow that image to fade once more. Bring your attention back to the back of the body, the heels, legs, pelvis, back, arms, and back of the head. So feel that line of connection, the back of the head in contact with the surface beneath. Feel the line of contact. Be aware of the shape your body makes here, lying here. A sense of the space around you and the space above you. Can you remember the placement of the doors, windows, walls, and ceiling, furnishings? Begin to breathe a little deeper now through the nostrils, drawing the breath in a little deeper so that you hear a sound. The body makes a sound as it breathes deeper. And listen for the sound of your body breathing. Expand your awareness to be aware of other sounds coming into your experience as you lie here in this room. Notice the sounds in your room. Let your attention expand to be aware of sounds beyond the room, beyond the building perhaps. Other sounds coming into your awareness, the sounds of the evening unfolding around you. And then the invitation is to move your body slowly, keeping the eyes closed. Bring little bits of movement and then more expansive bits of movement. As you stretch or curl the body in. Maybe allowing sound to become part of the practice now by sighing or yawning each out-breath away. And then if it feels like you want to bring yourself into a seated position to close with 3 arms, then just making time to palm your hands before opening the eyes into the darkness of the hands, and then coming up to a seated position that feels accessible for you. Or you can stay lying down. So allow the sense of settling into stillness wherever you are. Maybe you could tune into the physical body, the sensations you're experiencing now, having moved and rested your body and moved with your breath. And then that sense of connecting to something, the calm within all that's coming into our awareness. Notice where your awareness is. Where is your attention? Can you guide it to the breath in the nostrils with the lips gently touching? So don't change your breath, just keep your attention in the nostrils. And then allow your attention to drop to the space of the heart, the center of the chest. And from here we'll chant the mantra Om to close 3 times. So breathing into the space slowly and deeply. Bring the hands into Pranamasana at the heart space, the hands to touch. May your hearts be filled with love. May your minds be filled with wisdom. And let peace, harmony and health fill each and every cell of your body. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you. Just press stop.